The waters of the Coquitlam River are central to the Kwikitlem Nation, but it has been 100 years since a Coast Salish cedar dugout canoe has plied these waters. That is about to change.
My name is Mark Point. I'm from the Stalo Nation. I'm here at the Kwikitlem First Nations assisting my cousins in building this lovely cedar dugout canoe.
The making of this 11-man canoe marks what the band hopes will be a turning point for the Kwikitlem people.
A lot of us today of our age were born and raised primarily in the city. There's only a few of us that do know of the teachings of the elders from the farther up into the river. And this is something that we hope to bring home. And we want to teach our younger generation the importance of what it's going to be like to actually have that back here home again.
We were very happy when we were asked if we could come down here and help the band out and make this canoe for them. I think that the whole concept of creating and building to be able to do this for our relatives down here has been a great experience to share our knowledge and share our culture, and to teach our relatives here the time and the work that needs to go into building something like this.
Most urban bands don't have huge populations, but the Kwikitlem are particularly small, with only about 30 members living on 2 reserves.
At one point in time, our membership was so small it was down to about 4 members that were only actually living here, and it was a scarce point in time for us. And we hope that those days are behind us.
And here is the band's future. These children, there are only 4 of them, but even the littlest one is learning about the canoe.
You say, why do they use red cedar?
Why do they use red cedar?
Because it's light and strong.
Because it's light and strong.
We stay by the river and we represent the canoe because the canoe is how we used to get around, like travel, everything. That's how we used to get around for the canoe, so I'm pretty excited they brought it back.
The children have been watching the canoe's progress with great interest.
How many passengers does it take?
It's going to have 11 passengers, but
would
they
just
won't
like
be passengers, they'll be paddlers. The knowledge that we shared, it's been very exciting for them because they had no concept of what needed to be done to get it to where it is today. We're also going to be sharing with the young people the making of the paddles that are needed to paddle this once it's a finished product.
I'm gonna make a paddle. My mom and my dad's gonna teach me a little about that. I'm gonna paddle with it in the canoe and help them keep going.
Well, when I'm an adult, I'm pretty sure if I do have kids, I will try to keep our tradition and tell them everything I can possibly know about Kwikitlem First Nation and other cultures, other Aboriginal cultures. And I just hope that I can learn as much as I can now so I can say as much as I can then.
The process started in the watershed, where Metro Vancouver staff had identified an area of fallen trees. Point and his team selected an 800-year-old cedar.
But this tree was a windfall, so it was already on the ground. It was put on the ground by a strong wind that came through. And we found it lying on the side hill on a mountain like this, and we went up and measured it, and we seen that it looked fairly good.
We knew and had a pretty good feel about how to help the Coquitlam First Nations in terms of extracting the logs and transporting these huge logs to the Coquitlam offices. But what we weren't aware of before was just what kind of a log it took to make a canoe log. So we learned a lot about their history, and we learned a lot about how they manufacture canoes.
The tree was trucked out of the watershed and brought here to the Kwikitlem Reserve.
We're fairly happy with the project to date. There's a bit of knots on it, and there's rot on the other end. But we're capable, through our experience, of replacing the wood that's not the best wood here. This canoe is 51 feet long. It's going to be 36 inches wide on top, and it will be 27 inches wide on the bottom.
Point has been carving for 40 years and says every canoe still holds special meaning.
When it goes into the water, it's like, it's the same feeling you have the first time you see your child get up and walk, or when they start saying mama or dada or whatever. You have that feeling of pride inside, and it's to us, it's very grateful. And we always have to remember that we thank the Creator for the knowledge that we're gifted with.
The Kwikitlem people hope this canoe will be the catalyst that helps their nation rebuild.
The canoes, they serve a great pride and stuff to us, and which connects us back to the river, of which we have been travelers for generations upon generations. And it'll mean a special honor to us that canoe would be back into the river again.
When the canoe launches on July 1st, it will be manned by Stolo paddlers from reserves farther east in the Fraser Valley. But one day, the Coquitlam people promise to have paddlers of their own.
I hope to be as well riding along with the big canoe one day. It'll be very proud for me.